Welcome to our orange belt blocking techniques. This block is what we call a jamming block. So from your defensive stance, and remember in our defensive stance, the hands, the elbows are close to the body, the hand is open at the chin, and the front hand is forward. All right? So jamming is someone is punching towards your face, and we're going to extend the hand forward, and essentially what we're doing is we are stopping the punch before its full extension. So as I see the person punching, I drive my hand forward, meeting their hand as it's coming forward. So this could be with the front hand or the rear hand, but typically it would be blocking with the front hand, leaving your rear hand ready for a counter punch. The one thing you want to try and remember is that as soon as you see that punch coming, we're driving the hand forward and meeting it. Downward forearm blocks, front hand and rear hand. So once again, from our defensive stance, we're in this position. Now this could be an uppercut that's coming forward, and essentially I'm going to make a fist and drive my forearm down parallel to the ground this way. So from this position, I'm driving through here. Now, if you're using the rear hand, think about turning the hip and being able to drive that forearm down into the strike. The other piece that you can think about is maybe somebody has you in a clinch, they have you from the back of the head, and they're driving knees up and into your body or towards your face. So we would be hunched over this way. So same idea, driving that forearm block down and into the thigh area of that knee that is coming up towards your body or face. So downward forearm blocks this way. This time we're going to talk about an elbow block to the side of the head, or covering the side of the head. From our defensive stance, our lead hand or the rear hand, depending on what side the strike is coming from. I want you to think that you're going to take your hand and we're going to basically comb our hair back this way, depending on what side that strike is coming to. Again, if you're using the rear hand, think of turning that hip to the front. Now, a couple of things I want you to remember when you're doing this block. One is that the hand that is coming through is going to wrap around the back of your head, nice and strong. The other part is that your forearm, the inside part of your forearm, needs to be tight to your head. Now in can-ryu Jiu-Jitsu we talk about commonality of technique. This is one of those techniques. So this could be an elbow strike coming up and under the chin. You'll see in our curriculum that we have an elbow spear. So I'm driving the point of my elbow forward into the person's chest. This technique we're also talking about, this is a block. But a block where now I can either wrap the arm, a block where I can come in a bottom fist over top, a block where I can then fingers to the eyes. So a lot of different things that we can do from this technique, but first and foremost, let's look at it as our block. So once again, from this position, I'm bringing my hand up, I'm wrapping the back of my head, I'm fusing my arm to the side of my head. What's my other hand doing? It is still staying up to protect the face. I've seen the technique done this way. It could be over top and holding this way, where now this hand is also protecting the front of the face. So a few different options. But essentially I want you to think is striking here or striking here, hand comes up, hand comes up. Other hand also stays up to make sure that we are protecting the other side of the face, right? So we're here, coming up. Making sure two things, once again, last time, hand fused to the back of the head, forearm fused to the side of your temple. Elbow blocks and this time we are protecting the rib cage. So from your defensive stance, again, those elbows should already be in nice and tight to the rib cage. But this time we have a strike coming a little bit more to the kidney area. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive this elbow down to the side of the body, either front or back. And at the same time as you're doing that, we're going to lift our hip this way. Lift the hip. So I'm not bringing the elbow all the way down here, keeping the hand away from the side of the face, but I want to lift my hip and pop a little bit, lifting the leg, each side, keeping the hands up, but making sure that we're not completely dropping the hands. So once again, strike coming to the kidney area. Our hands are up. I'm driving the elbow down. You can see the other hand is staying up. I'm lifting the hip and I'm tensing the side of my body. I'm not leaving this loose in the event that I miss my block. I get hit and then that's going to hurt. So I tense the side of my body on both sides, striking my elbows down this way. Now, part of the advantage here is if this is a kick that's coming and I'm taking the point of my elbow and driving it into the top of their foot. So I'm coming through and again keeping my hands up so that we're ready to counter strike if need be. So an elbow block, blocking here at the rib cage. Keeping the hands up, driving the elbows down. Turtle block. Again, from our defensive stance and having our hands up. This is going to be somebody who's repeatedly punching you into the head. This could be where somebody has thrown you to the ground and you're trying to get up and they're punching you into the back of the head. This could also be a transition technique where I'm trying to get close to the person and at the same time driving some elbow strikes in, so blocking and driving in so that I can grab onto them. So again, a very versatile type of technique depending on how we want to apply it. Essentially, to begin with, as a block, I'm bringing the hands up, covering the top of the head this way. I don't want to drop my head and be looking at the floor in the event a knee comes up the middle. So from this position, I'm blocking this way. Try not to keep the hands super tight to the head. A little bit of distance, a little bit of shock absorbing in here. Again, now, thinking that if you are on the ground, being able to bring those hands up and covering, we're keeping our eyes forward, and you'll see this technique in our one-leg takedown, where we bring the hands up and we're able to attack into the legs and the groin in order to grab that leg and facilitate our takedown. The last piece that we discussed was using this as a transition. So from this position, bringing the hands up and then driving forward, essentially using both elbows to strike into the chest. So my hands come up and I'm driving forward. You'll notice if you looked at the yellow belt footwork video, we talk about sliding forward. So using that rear leg to push off, sliding forward, getting the hands up, protecting, driving the elbows into the chest so that I can then grab onto the body and facilitate a takedown. So turtle block, you'll also hear the term caging, essentially the same idea.